Hey guys, and welcome back to the Jared Report, where we discuss everything pop culture that we love, from movies to TV shows. So, we just got back from the Odyssey. There has been an enormous amount of hype around this movie. Critics are loving it, the audience is loving it. There has been a bit of scrutiny from a very small group of people about a certain couple of castings. So, a lot of that has been surrounding this movie. But let me tell you what, does it live up to the hype? Is it the cinematic masterpiece that everyone is saying it is? Absolutely. Guys, when I say that this is an epic, just adventure, action, cinematic event, I don't know what else I could say to describe it. I have not felt this way about a movie in a long time. I feel like Dune Tune has been like the standard when that came out a few years ago. That was like one of the biggest things I had seen in years. And then there's the Odyssey, which I just feel like I don't know the last movie that I've watched that has made me feel this way. Definitely got to be one of my top five favorite movies of all time, if not my favorite movie of all time. We're talking Greek mythos, Greek culture, ancient Greek civilization. These are things that I've loved my entire life. You tell me any kind of Greek mythological story in a movie, in a video game, any kind of genre, books, I love it and eat it up. But even all of that aside, just everything about this movie, the environment, you can tell that they shot at real locations. I had seen some of the making of the movie. Christopher Nolan used a lot of practical effects. I mean, with the Cyclops, he used a real actor in makeup and just kind of used that disproportionate angle that you can use to make things look bigger. Obviously, probably a little bit of CGI. The scene with the giants when they get to that island, like they used 7 foot actors, or I would say like stunt doubles, and then they brought in some little people under 4 feet, and then shot that scene. So just things of that nature. This is old Hollywood. This is what has made the movies great for over 100 years. Just using these different elements, the practical elements, not relying heavily on CGI, just made me feel so immersed. And I feel like a lot of times with these Greek styled or even Roman styled kind of cinematic movies, they kind of exaggerate some of the scenery, they exaggerate the palaces and the environment. And I felt like we were really in ancient Greece here. I mean, don't get me wrong. That is, besides the dialect and everything, like they're not speaking Greek, they're not speaking Latin. It's not like Old English that they're trying to do, which I don't think Christopher Nolan needed to do here. And that really didn't bother me at all. I feel like after the first 5 or 10 minutes of the movie, you don't even like realize that they're just speaking in plain old, modern English. Just everything else about this just made me feel completely immersed. The scenery, the architecture, everything, like they built real sets for this movie. They went and shot at real locations for this movie. But even besides the looks, the scenery, everything else, there is nothing about the Odyssey that I could complain about. I feel like I just experienced one of the best movies ever made. I just walked out on such a high. I felt very emotional. I mean, the whole third act, there's this scene with a dog, and I normally don't get choked up with, animals, especially after becoming a father. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't wish any ill will on anything like that, but it doesn't really get to me. But there's this scene with this dog when I, I, I don't want to give anything away, but there's a scene with this dog that really hit me emotionally. And then just the entirety of the third act, it was my favorite part of the movie. Because don't get me wrong, we go through this whole adventure where Odysseus is met with sirens, a cyclops, these giants. He faces, or he doesn't really face, but he encounters a witch that turns all of his men into pigs. And there's all these mystical things along the way. And then the third act, we come back and it's very grounded. It is at the palace, the bad people or the antagonists are just normal people. And I was just I can't even put into words. I was captured. I was just taken away with how invested I was into everything. And Matt Damon, let me tell you what, guys, this is a star-studded cast. You have Robert Pattinson, Tom Holland, Zendaya, Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, John Bernthal. I mean, just going down the list. But guys, I really couldn't believe, because Matt Damon, he is a great actor. There's not something that I've watched that I didn't like with him in, but he's never been like amazing to me. But him as Odysseus, and especially in this third act, was just breathtaking. I mean, I've never loved Matt Damon in a role more than this. And honestly, I found myself maybe I would uh, like Robert Pattinson a little more, or Tom Holland. I didn't know how much time everyone would be in the movie. And Matt Damon, he is, obviously it's about Odysseus, but I couldn't believe it. I was in love with his character. I was loving everything about it. I was rooting for him. Um, I just I already knew this was one of my most anticipated movies of the year, probably my most anticipated of the summer besides Spider-Man. But to come out of this thinking that this is one of the best movies made all time, I was not expecting that. And speaking, of the controversy with, people in the film and their allotted time on screen. Guys, Elliot Page is in the movie for 5 minutes. Lupita Luanga, the actress that plays Helen of Troy, and her twin sister in the movie for 3 minutes. So put the controversy aside. There's a lot of bigots out here that were trying to kill this movie from the start, and it doesn't work. It doesn't even matter. Guys, this movie is just absolutely amazing. Christopher Nolan has done it again. Don't know why you would doubt Christopher Nolan to begin with, but this, without a doubt, is my favorite Christopher Nolan film, probably his best, besides like, Inception or even the Dark Knight trilogy. Really love that. But this is my favorite. This is Christopher Nolan's best film, in my opinion. This is my most favorite film I could think of to date. Seriously, guys, you have to go out and see it. I have not. I didn't go see it in IMAX. I'm gonna go see that next week with a couple buddies of mine, but we just went and saw it on standard format in theaters. And guys, it lives up to all the hype. Don't listen to any of the outside noise with the small little elements and changes that Christopher Nolan made with a few characters. Don't listen to any of that. This is an absolutely amazing film. This is an event. This is an epic. This is a great journey and adventure. I mean, and like I said earlier, like the monsters and like the mystical creatures, always my favorite, like in everything. I'm a huge sci-fi fantasy kind of nerd. Like those are always my favorite. But all of that aside, like I said, that final act where really it's just, regular normal human beings as the antagonists, just just an amazing final act. Just could not help myself but root for Odysseus and his son and Penelope. And guys, it just, seriously, please go see this movie. I already know that this movie is going to make a buku amount of bucks, and I really want nothing but success for this movie. This is the best movie of 2026 so far. And let me tell you what, the Spider-Man and Avengers Doomsday, they're going to be great films. Marvel is great. It is a staple in pop culture, especially these last 10 or 15 years. They're not going to come anywhere close to this. They're just not. The Odyssey is, it really is a masterpiece. This is how you tell stories. This is a film to be seen in theaters, but I can already tell you they're just not going to do it. This was an amazing movie. I'm excited to see those other films, but really, I think the only thing that can give the Odyssey a run for its money the rest of the year is Dune Part 3, which I am super ecstatic for. But this is the standard. This is the standard for the rest of the year. This is going to be the standard for the next 5 or 10 years. Like I, I'm lost for words, guys. I really am, and I walked out of the theater just feeling so great. Felt like I went on this whole journey. Like I said earlier, I just came out on a complete high, and I'm so glad because I had high expectations for the film, but I wasn't expecting it to be this. I really wasn't. So it exceeded my expectations. It is the best movie of 2026 so far, best summer film in the last like 10 years. I mean, I can't even think. I'd have to go back and look, but guys, I cannot highly recommend going to see this. You have to go see this in theaters. It is absolutely amazing. And Matt Damon, I mean everyone does great. Robert Pattinson, that guy knows how to be a villain. I mean, his character was the worst cuz he's just such a snake and just a fucking he's a snake. He's the worst of the worst. But he does a great job. And Tom Holland does a great job. I mean, his character's a little weak. I think it's because, he's Odysseus' son. He's still young. He's trying to learn his way. And let me tell you another thing, because I don't remember the actor's name, but he was set to be Kratos in the new God of War show that's coming out on Amazon. Um, and he just injured himself and tore his bicep, so they're going to have to recast the role. And initially, like, especially when I saw the first shots of God of War, I was like, this doesn't look good. I don't really know like this guy. I'm not really excited for it. But I am so sad that he's not going to be playing Kratos, that they're going to have to recast him because just the small amount of time that he has in the film, I'm like, I can see Kratos. Like this guy is amazing. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you have all these little side characters that did great. All of the star-studded cast did amazing. Anne Hathaway has kind of gotten on my nerves like over the last like 10 years. I feel like she's overhyped, but she did great in this too. Like I'm serious. Like I said earlier with Matt Damon, like he's always been great, but he's not my favorite. He's not the best, or I've never thought highly, like, super high of him. Obviously, he's a star, he's a staple in Hollywood, like, the Jason Bourne films, Good Will Hunting, all these other things that he's been in. But this, like, everyone just did great, guys. And if you read the Odyssey or know anything about it, it is a sequel to Troy and the Iliad, or the Trojan War. And just the elements that they show of the Trojan War, like I feel like, it's just kind of a stereotype that like the Greek stories are tragedies. And this is another tragedy because the things that Odysseus does and the guilt that he has, and it takes him 20 years to finally get home, and just this feeling that he has to deal with what he did in Troy, and then what happens to everyone that was involved in the war afterwards, all of his men. I don't know if I want to ruin anything, but Agamemnon and a whole bunch of other men are kind of punished by the gods for what happened in Troy, and Odysseus is kind of punished, and there's just a lot of tragedy in the film. It's kind of like, Odysseus and his men kind of get what they deserve. Agamemnon and, all these other people that violate Zeus's law and, you know, just completely wipe out Troy. It all works together. And Odysseus, he is punished for what transpired in Troy. Everyone involved is punished. But even by the end, I'm like, I want Odysseus to get home. I want him to see his wife again. And, I wish nothing but the best for the kingdom of Ithaca, even after everything that has happened. So it was just a beautifully told story. I mean, obviously, the Odyssey, the Iliad, those have been around for thousands of years. I could go into spoilers, but I'm not going to go too deep into spoilers. And I haven't read the Odyssey since high school, so I can't really specifically remember everything that's like accurate to Homer's work versus like what happens in the film. Um, the ending, I want to do a little more research on to see if that's what really happens. But I'm not going to go super into spoilers. I mean, obviously, I've touched on a little bit of things, but like I said, this has been around for thousands of years. So if you haven't known any of that, um, it's not really my problem. This has just been a story told over and over again. And like I said earlier, anything Greek, anything Roman, anything mystical or has that mythos element in it, I'm all game for. But it has all of that, but it just has a great story. Christopher Nolan really is just the king of film. He's still showing that he is. I don't know what else to say, guys. Go see this movie. This is an event. This is meant to be seen in theaters. Um, I'm gonna go see it on the IMAX next week, so I'm not really sure. I mean, he filmed and like he did everything for IMAX, so definitely I would if you get a chance. I know there's only like 20 some theaters across the United States that are actually supporting that format, um, but this needs to be seen in theaters, guys. I don't think it took away from the experience that didn't see it in IMAX. Um, I bet you it'll be even better when I go see it again next week. And I'm not normally someone that's like, oh, I need to go see a movie multiple times in theaters. But as soon as I walked out of this, I was just like, I can't wait. I can't wait till next week. We're going to go see it in IMAX. So I'll get to see it in a different format. And I can't wait to just rewatch everything again and maybe, see a couple things that I might have missed. It's a 3 hour film. So I did have to get up and go to the bathroom a few times. So I did miss a few scenes here and there, nothing like major. But, I'll get to see that next week. And don't be drinking a lot during this movie because it's 3 hours long, but guys, it doesn't even feel like it. It it is the best thing that I've seen in my life. I'm just the more and more I think about it, I'm just like, this is a great film. This lives up to all of the hype. I was a little worried when like, all the critics are loving it, and I felt like people were maybe just like pushing it up just because of some of the controversy that surrounded this. And it's a Christopher Nolan film, and I even like, I was even thinking like, there's going to be some artsy fartsy elements in here, just things that like Hamnet and like other things that aren't really for me would be in here, but I didn't feel that at all. Like it was perfect, guys. I don't have any issues with it other than like maybe the first 5 or 10 minutes. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but like I just feel like the movie just gets better. The more and more you get through everything, it just gets better and better and better, and then you get to that final act, and you're just like, this is this is fucking amazing. I will say too, I didn't feel I don't understand why it was rated R. There's not a lot of blood in here. There's no sex. There's no nudity, at least any that I saw. Um, so I don't feel like it's rated R. There is kind of like a gruesome kind of scene with Cersei when she turns his men into pigs, which kind of has like a horror element to it, which was just absolutely amazing. By the way, I love that too. Um, but I don't know. It didn't feel rated R to me, but it doesn't take away from the film. Like the battles were still intense. People were dying, getting slit open, and it's just absolutely amazing. Now I want to go and rewatch Troy. I mean, obviously they don't go together, but I just kind of want to see that story again and get some of the elements that they just kind of briefly touched on because this is the Odyssey. It's a sequel. We're not worried. I mean, the events of Troy lead into this, so like it does play a big part. But I just want to go. I want to see more of it. I want to go see Troy. I want to. I'm excited to go see it again next week. This outlived my expectations. It surpassed them. So seriously, guys, go see this in the theaters. I can't say anything else. I know I keep repeating myself a lot, but I am just super excited. Like this just made my weekend so much better. So let me know. Have you seen the movie? Let me know down in the comments section below what you thought about it. Did it live up to the hype for you? Maybe, people are overplaying it. Not for me. I fucking loved it. So go see this in theaters, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button so you can see more content like this. Otherwise, I will see you guys on the next Jared Report. Adios, my friends.